So quiet. She's got it down.
All right. So we are officially live right now. This is Junior Lara with Autentico podcast. And this is our fourth roundtable discussions. For those of you that are new to our podcast and our page, we have roundtable discussions una vez al mes, en el primer martes de cada mes.
Miércoles.
Miércoles, ¿qué dije?
Yeah.
Oh. El miércoles de cada mes tenemos un live broadcast discussion. Eso me pasa por cambiar en el lenguaje en mitad de oración. So we have today two really amazing guests that contribute a lot to the Latino community. Two very different backgrounds, but really embody what servant leadership is about. And it's a lot of what we talked about since we started interviewing the last guest. Mm-hmm. So before we introduce them, I'm going to introduce my partner in crime, the one and only Gabriela Ramirez Arellano. Gaby, ¿cómo estás?
Good. Saludos a todos. Really excited to be here with you. Tenemos una conversación extraordinaria preparada para ustedes porque los invitados traen no solo sus experiencias, pero van a compartir un poquito de sus vidas y de su filosofía para ayudarnos a crecer un poquito.
Sí, la verdad, algo que no hemos dado cuenta de que empezamos el podcast es que, Gaby, hay bastante gente en la ciudad de San Luis que está haciendo cosas para cambiar la ciudad, pero para lo mejor. Mm-hmm. And I love that we get a chance to highlight their contributions, but also, more importantly, learn a lot about their background, their story, like you said in the past, like challenges, lessons learned, because that is so important. I feel like it inspires the next generation of individuals who are looking to give back, to do more than just, something like that benefits them. So I love that we get a chance to do that.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important because when we talk about giving back, it's also about leaving your mark, right? So at the end of the day, what did I do to help somebody else? And so today we have two great examples of people that hacen pequeños detalles, grandes detalles, pero hacen lo que pueden para mejorar la ciudad, para mejorar el lugar donde están.
Sí, y lo hacen no por atención, pero porque en verdad creen en el beneficio y they really believe in what they do, you know what I mean? And I love that.
Yeah.
It's not so much about the attention, look at me, look at what I'm doing. Like, I love the fact that they stepped up and they wanted to be part of this roundtable discussion, but typically, and based on what I've learned so far about these individuals, it's not about them, it's about the community.
Right. So let's introduce
I mean, without further ado, let's introduce our first guest. So our first guest, Mindy Pluma. Mindy is the finance manager at St. Louis Auto Stop. Mindy has been in the automotive industry now for over 20 years. And for the last 15 years, she has been speaking Spanish. So Mindy enjoys helping people and helping them understand credit and buying them a car, buying cars, but really like the whole understanding of credit, something the Latinos struggle with. So Mindy, we're happy to have you here. How are you?
Thank you. Very good.
Awesome. So our next guest is going to be Hugo Sedano Jimenez, or Hugo CJ.
Yeah.
Como va a ir.
Yes.
So Hugo trabaja para Electrical Components International. He is a fellow countryman of mine, dominicano, que emigró para los Estados Unidos, para, ¿cómo se dice? Defiance, en Missouri.
Defiance, Missouri.
Te trajo la familia, ¿verdad?
Yeah, mi familia me trajo. Yeah.
Y Hugo hace algo que we're really going to highlight during today's roundtable discussion because it impacts not just the community here, but also the community abroad, which I feel is so important. So Hugo, welcome to Autentico's roundtable discussion.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, thank you both for being here. We really appreciate it. Yeah. So let's start with Mindy. Mindy, so finance manager at St. Louis Auto Stop. So before we get to that, like, why Spanish? How did you learn to speak Spanish, and what did you stick with it? Because something about language is that if you don't use it, you lose it. Your Spanish is really good.
Thank you. Well, I guess I tell everybody that asks me directly, but I've never said this publicly. I met my ex-husband in 2003, and
Mm-hmm.
his English was very minimal.
Mm-hmm.
So I had 6 years of education in high school and college, and of Spanish education. And so I knew all the words, and
Mm-hmm.
hanging out with him and his friends just kind of helped me put them in order and pronounce them a little bit better.
Sí.
And then after all of that kind of went to the wayside, I would definitely say the music. I love listening to like reggaeton or bachata, so I, kind of kept it that way, I guess. I've had some other jobs too where I needed to use my Spanish that helped me keep practicing every day too.
Yeah, I also feel like it's a personal commitment on your end, because I know that you
Mhm.
also have a show that you started, and even before you did that, tenías Facebook Lives que hacías. So, I mean, es mucho esfuerzo tratar de hacerlo simplemente porque tú quieres.
Pero sí, pero cuando empecé los videos todos ya lo conocía, no fue por mantener la idioma. Me gusta hablar con la gente que están aprendiendo español, porque tengo un amigo en mi trabajo y me está diciendo, pues estaba confundiendo mi familia y eso porque les respondió en español, y yo le dije, eso es un paso. Cuando ya lo aprendes español muy bien, no vas a tener que pensarlo. Pero yo he tenido, yo pasé meses que soñaba en español por estar aprendiéndolo. O que la gente me pregunta algo y solo puedo pensar en la palabra en español. No lo agravo la palabra en inglés.
Oh, wow.
So ya he pasado esos tiempos. Solo
Ya la mente la tienes pensando solo en español.
A veces sí.
Qué bien, entonces dime, eres el Finance Manager de St. Louis Auto Stop ahora. Explícanos qué es tu trabajo, qué haces en St. Louis Auto Stop.
So, mi primer trabajo es agarrar los préstamos por la gente por agarrar el carro. So, en eso tienes que poder leer su crédito, saber los programas del banco, saber cuál carro sirve mejor para la persona y por el banco. Son muchos diferentes números que tienen que ir bien.
Sí.
Y segundo, estoy agarrando gente que todavía necesitan carro, que todavía estoy trabajando de venta, pero es como segundo.
Sí, pero también tú ayudas bastante a la comunidad en eso del crédito, ¿verdad?
Uh-huh.
So, entonces tú trabajas con muchos latinos, ¿no?
Sí, casi siempre. Como todo el otro día tenía un chavo que vino a mi trabajo y me dijo que solo quería vender el carro. Y yo le dije, pero necesitas un carro, ¿sí o no? Y no me quiso contestar. So, le siguió preguntando cosas y me dice, bueno, es que yo tengo un interés a 22% y no puedo seguir pagándolo porque no sirve. Yo le dije, pero cuando lo compraste no tuviste nada de crédito. Y ahora ha pasado como 3 o 4 años. Le dije, ahora sí tienes crédito y lo puedes refinanciar.
Uh-huh.
Y lo platiquemos y yo le siguió preguntando si me entiende, si me estoy explicando bien, y me dijo que sí. Y luego encontró 2 bancos que pueden refinanciarlo. Todo el mundo te va a decir que puedes refinanciar en la agencia, pero realmente no es muy fácil. Es más fácil ir a tu banco personal o en otro banco tal vez que hace esos tipos de préstamos, pero no le vendió el carro, bueno, no le compró tampoco. Y me dijo, usé mi tiempo y le dio el consejo que debe refinanciarlo.
Sí, entonces tú le diste el consejo a él de cómo refinanciar el carro,
Uh-huh.
pero lo vendió a tu compañía o recibió, mira eso.
No, solo realmente le conoció en otra agencia. Yo estaba ayudando a su amigo a comprar un carro y me recordó de eso. Pero sí, la gente siempre me preguntan qué necesito para financiar o les digo, pues si no has sacado tu ITIN, ¿por qué no lo sacas? Tienes planes de quedarte aquí, puedes sacar tu ITIN muy fácil y así puedes como establecerte en este país.
Sí.
Hasta la gente como yo le manda mensajes por Messenger.
Oye, ¿y qué tal son, por ejemplo, ha sido tu experiencia con con la comunidad latina con eso de lo del crédito. ¿Tú crees que se entiende qué significa el crédito, de cómo mantenerlo, o es una oportunidad que hay en ese tópico?
So, cada vez que hablo con alguien, siento que estoy empezando de cero.
Okay.
So, por eso estoy haciendo los videos. Digo, ¿tienes preguntas? Pues miras este video.
Sí.
Me lo hace más fácil, sí. Y estoy abierto por las preguntas, quiero que entiendan. No quiero que piensen que estoy solo spameando.
Sí.
Spamming them with my videos, right? Pero hice los videos porque es lo mismo. Y, sabes, recién me dio cuenta. So, yo estaba tomando un training. Y fue como dos cosas de gente que tiene problemas con su crédito.
Uh-huh.
Y yo le dije, eso es lo mismo cosas que me estaba diciendo hace 10 años. Son los mismos consejos, lo mismo proceso, todo de hace 10 años. Yo dije, pues, si es lo mismo, y yo lo conozco tan bien como, no sé, it's front and the back of my hand, right? I know it so well, then why don't I just share it with everybody?
Uh-huh.
Because not everybody knows.
Yeah, no, y creo que es muy importante because apart from not knowing credit, a lot of Latinos, we don't know the American credit system.
Yeah.
Because in our countries, credit is very high or very difficult to get. And so we also have a different mentality about it. We were talking about it before the show, ¿no? So, I mean, like, even Junior nunca ha comprado carro porque no quiere un préstamo, right?
Exacto.
So it's like that burden that somebody passed down to us, or maybe somehow we heard it, that we shouldn't have credit. And so that's another barrier that also makes it difficult.
Sí,
Do you find that a lot, or no?
What I do struggle with is the interest rate that comes out when, after we've picked out a car and we've talked about how much money they're going to put down, and we talk about how I'm going to get the loan with their income and everything else. We get all the way to the point, and then I get an approval, and maybe the interest rate is 22%. And they're like, wait a minute, I can't pay that. But I got you an approval. Like, we've worked on this for how many hours, and we got through all these steps. Like, why don't you want it? And it's like, I can't pay that much, but did you want it or not? Do you want the car or not?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is kind of, and I try to express to everybody that it's the same thing for the Americans too. You know, like, if I didn't have my parents with really good credit on my first car loan, I would have had 22% interest also. You know, like, it's just how it works.
You have to build up, like you said, the guy had a couple years under his belt. He built his credit. Now he could do something with it, leverage it to get a lower interest rate.
Exactly. And a lower payment, and then, yeah.
Oye, y si alguien quiere ver los videos, por ejemplo, alguien que está viendo el podcast ahora, ¿cómo estás en YouTube, me imagino? Sí. ¿Cómo se llama tu página?
Mindy Pluma, Motores y Crédito.
Mindy Pluma, Motores y Crédito.
Yeah.
Ya saben. ¿Y tienes como cuántos videos ahí ya?
Solo tengo como 6, apenas lo empecé.
6 y creciendo.
Sí.
Qué bien, qué bien.
Y ponemos el enlace, ¿no? Después.
Exacto, sí lo vamos a poner, exacto. Eso sí, vamos a poner el enlace ahí, como dice Gaby, para que puedan ver la página de Mindy. Sí. Oye, y Hugo, entonces, como dije cuando empezó el episodio, el live broadcast, dominicano, igual que yo, viniste aquí a Defiance. Mucho ha cambiado del tiempo que te mudaste aquí, ¿no?
Mucho. Desde mi forma de ser, mi inglés, mi vida, todo ha cambiado.
Sí.
Gracias a Dios, sí.
Qué bien. Y empezaste ahora un trabajo recientemente, Electrical Components International.
Yeah.
¿Cuál es tu posición ahí?
Ahí trabajo como account coordinator. So vengo siendo el que tiene control, o va a tener, porque todavía estamos en training, voy a tener control sobre cuentas que se manejan en los harnesses de los carros, los appliances que tenemos, computadoras, cosas así que necesitan el alambrado de las computadoras. So I'll be one of the ones in my team that will be in charge of getting those cables to whatever company. So Whirlpool, GE, and some cars brands, they need those cables. So I'll be the one managing one of those accounts.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And your clients, are they going to be, I know you mentioned those companies, but are they like stationed here? Are they in other countries?
Most of them are outside of the country. And then we have a full warehouse near the border in Mexico. But it's all a trader, thing back and forth.
¿Y qué va a pasar
With
ahorita con la locura de...
Con el 5%. Bueno, como yo estoy en training, so I don't know much right now what's happening or what will happen. So eventually I will know more details, but I think it's a company thing.
So everybody's kind of scrambling.
To be
I'm
determined.
scrambling with
Yeah, it's to be
avocados.
determined, but so but I
To
don't,
be
yeah,
determined.
to be
Yeah.
determined. Yeah.
So, Hugo, tú viniste aquí, no hablabas ni, como decimos nosotros, ni papa de inglés,
Ni papa, ni pío.
ni pío, y ahora estás trabajando para una compañía nueva, pero antes de eso, tú eras un manager, ¿verdad?
Sí.
En fast food industry.
Yeah, yo trabajé cuando llegué aquí a San Luis.
Ujú.
Empecé trabajando en un restaurante en Culver's,
Okay.
en O'Fallon. So, Defiance, O'Fallon, that's the far I went, you know. So, starting over there, recuerdo como ahora mismo mi manager, la que me entrevistó, me dijo, te vamos a poner en la cocina para que puedas entender más todo lo que se hace. Yo le dije, no, porque yo quiero aprender inglés, So, it was like a little bit of a fight back and forth until I finally got positioned to work in the front. Just as a runner, just somebody that will run back and forth and running food and water and stuff like that. So I worked my way up, and proving myself that I could learn the language and that I could adapt myself to a new environment, new language, new culture, new friends, new people and everything. I went to St. Charles Community College. I learned my English in there, more like, into details and writing. So after a few years at Culver's, I got ascended to be a manager, all of a sudden. And so I used to work then in Chesterfield. So
So
managing
you went
Culver's.
from you have to be in the kitchen to now you're
Well,
the
I
manager.
didn't go in the kitchen.
Right, no, but they wanted to put you in the kitchen.
Yes.
Initially.
Yes.
Hugo was like,
Yeah.
no, yo quiero aprender
No,
inglés.
I'm sorry, not this. Yeah, nope.
Not
That's
this guy.
amazing because
Yeah.
so many times we don't stand up for ourselves. We just listen.
Yeah. Well, see, every time I had something, a problem or something that I need to solve, I want the one that I jump first. I want to face it right away, get over it, good or bad. I need to be there. Period. I'm not gonna be like waiting for something to happen. So I think that's one thing that kind of like sticks to me for any challenges that I have. It's just I jump for it.
Yeah. And speaking of jumping, so while you were working on mastering a new language and adjusting to a new culture, you were also teaching Spanish.
Yeah, I did that around the same time. I had a part-time, so they were both part-time. I got to the time where I had to change my uniform to go to teach Spanish at one school.
Wow.
And next day I was at the restaurant.
Sí.
So yeah, you know what? This is one of the things that no matter in what field you are, you need to stay true to yourself and believe in yourself. I taught Spanish because one of my boss at that time, one of my boss's friend, saw me the way I worked. And she saw me how dedicated I am with the customers and, and such and such. And my boss came up to me and said, hey Hugo, me gustaría, mira, no quiero perderte como empleado, pero mi amiga me dijo que que ve un gran potencial en ti y que gustaría que tú trabajes para ella dando clases de español. So
Mira eso.
I took the chance, and so I was a contractor, but I went all Francis Howell district, including in Troy, Flint Hill. So yeah, I taught in one Catholic school there in Flint Hill, which is between Troy and Lake St. Louis, I think. And then I even came here to St. James the Greater in Dogtown. I taught Spanish there for a whole semester. But that was not my thing. I love kids dearly, but I kind of find other ways to love kids and and do other stuff.
Yeah. And there's actually a lot that you're doing right now that we're going to come back to.
Yep.
That involves kids and helping the community. So we'll definitely come back to that. But I'm very curious about your thoughts, Mindy, because usually our guests that we have are native Spanish speakers. And we talk about how important it is to be authentic to yourself, to be bilingual, how much of a privilege it is and how much of an advantage it is. But I'm curious from a non-native speaking speaker standpoint, how important is it to speak Spanish, really just to be bilingual in the U.S.?
It's helped me a lot. I've only ever been not welcomed maybe once or twice. But again, it's just my spirit of trying to help people.
Same.
That even with the silliest things, like I mentioned earlier, like calling a leasing manager and just trying to translate correctly what's going on. Simple stuff like that. I'm trying to think of things that I've kind of done outside of work specifically that have helped, but and going out dancing or even getting involved in community picnics and stuff like that. It's just fun. Like it's more vibrant. It's Americans sit around and drink beer, right? But you go to the Puerto Rican festival and there's so much music and everybody's bouncing around and it's fun.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I also see a theme that so you learned English and you learned Spanish.
No.
The other way around. And it's just amazing the commitment because it's so difficult, especially when you have to when you're in here. It's easy to learn in the sense of I have a book and whatnot, but to actually live and work and go out into the world and function and excel, that's huge.
Yeah.
Do you ever really pat yourself on the back and say, darn it, you did really, really good? Or do you just kind of take it for granted that that's something that you were going to do?
I think I learned myself to cheer myself up every single day. I think that you need to put yourself first, maybe not out in the public and be all this big, guy, but you definitely need to get some credit for what you have done. I think that we don't get that a lot, from friends, from family, from yourself. But if you wake up early in the morning and the first thing you say, I look great today, I did this yesterday, and man, I cannot believe what is more to come, and I know I can achieve all of that. That set the tone and the positivity on your shoulders, and then you can just I got everything, so I can always do it. Instead of being just kind of waiting for that approval, I think people are always looking for some kind of approval from others.
Yeah.
And I think that is what it's holding people back all the time.
Right.
You don't need people's approval. You are your own persona. You are your own, your own body, right? Your own true leader. I was talking to a friend the other day, and you know how we all kind of look up to somebody, trying to be that person. I learned a year ago that I want to be better than yesterday myself.
Wow. Yeah.
That's it. I don't want to prove anybody else. I don't want to prove my mom, my brother, my dad, my neighbor. No, it's just me. I want to prove myself that I am a little bit better than what I was yesterday in whatever field I'm doing, So I think that always kind of pushes you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Instead of comparing yourself. When you compare yourself, you look sideways. And it just kind of takes you outside of what you need to be focused on.
I like that.
So
When you compare
that's a good
yourself,
analogy.
you look sideways.
Yeah.
So
You're always doing this.
Right.
Yeah. So have you always had that drive, internal drive? Is that something that you've developed over the years?
I have developed through the years, yeah. I was in a time where, you always want to please people. I think we all been there. When we need some approval, we need some, whatever people ask me to, I will say yes, just please them whatever they wanted to. But in the inside, it's not what you want to. So you were back to your point, you need to stand up for yourself and just kind of do it. You don't need that. Okay, are you good at this? No, don't look for that. Look for what you believe in yourself, that you are good at it. Instead of having, and I know, all the friends and family that come to us, it's with a goodwill that they're coming to, saying, oh, you're so good at such and such, or you're so good at selling, you're so good at speaking. But what is it that you really want to do?
Yeah.
So listen to that inner voice, and then you will actually succeed on whatever you want to, not because other people approve that.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Mindy? Do you feel like it's a big deal, or do you gotta just kind of take a grain of salt that you speak another language?
I forget very easily until I meet somebody new, and they're like, just today I had somebody, she goes, all of your posts are always in Spanish.
You didn't even notice it.
I forget, or just like another like coworker or whatever, it comes up to me and they're, oh, I just started at Auto Stop, right? So I didn't walk in there saying, hey, I'm Mindy, I speak Spanish. They just heard me on the phone, or they saw me working with a client. And I just forget how easily it comes to me. And I forget how much I have accomplished. For me to say that it's been 15 years is like, holy crap.
Yeah.
But it has been. And it was, my first dates with my ex-husband, we were sitting there with a dictionary.
Oh, wow.
When I first, and maybe we can relate to this, I used to go to bed with a big book translator, like this size, back before the iPhones came. And what I did was I would go to bed and text my ex-girlfriend back in the day. It was like, it was like a sweetheart kind of thing. She would text me, and I would go back word by word what she said, and then so it would take me another hour and a half to text her back because I needed to find those words again.
And then put it together in a sentence.
It was, so I think that pushed me to like, oh my gosh, I did it. 2 sentences for the whole night. That's what I did.
Yeah.
It was a challenge.
So we actually have a question from one of our viewers, and her question is, so this is a question for the two of you. Do either of you feel that life struggles pushes people to succeed? And if so, can you tell us about that? So like your own personal struggles, if you can just think back, you don't have to necessarily bring them up unless you want to, but do you feel that you can go back in time, in place, and think of a struggle that pushed you to succeed? And like you said, that internal drive, Hugo, that you developed over the years is something that you developed because of maybe things that happened, right?
Yeah, that's right. Mindy, you want
go
to go
ahead.
first? There have been some events in my life that I had to, that pushed me to actually kind of narrow down all the, narrow down my priorities. Let's call it that way,
Like how you put it.
Right, so you want to put first your nice car, your nice house, now I have a pool, now I have an apartment, those little things, now I have a nice clothing and stuff, I had to put that aside. So when where I come from, Dominican Republic, it's a third, world country who are still in developing, So I didn't have all the luxury things. Yes, it was fine, but not all the, so we didn't even have electricity 24/7. Let's call it that way,
Yeah.
So it got to a point where cuando llegué aquí a Estados Unidos, to see that, oh wow, I can actually do laundry at any time I want to. Those things that now I take for granted, But like, if anything happened, I'm still like, okay, 2 days without shower, whatever, I'll figure it out, something. I would not paranoid because my mindset is like, oh, I remember back in my day.
Yeah.
So definitely I kind of more mindful of things that, in the past. And then, my brother moving to college, I didn't have the actual brotherhood to hang around with. You start developing new friendships, some heartbreaking things, you have a girlfriend, you're heartbroken, you got some family in Dominican Republic that are far away. Those things kind of drive you to kind of have the mindset for something better and just kind of improve yourself, I would say.
Yeah, very nice. What about you, Mindy?
Can you tell me what the beginning of the question was?
Sure, yeah. So do you feel that life's challenges or struggles push people to succeed?
Yeah, absolutely. So, this last year has been huge for me. Even just, so before I went into sales, I was in just a desk job, right? And I wasn't happy because I was always looking for a way to use my Spanish at work. And then when the sales job opened, I was obviously able to translate that a little bit better to something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so this last year has just been a huge amount of growth, going from sales to now I'm a manager of the store, and to how mold that position into being a leader and helping salespeople and encouraging them, being positive for them, has helped me become so much more positive in my life. And then, like, I've also come out of my shell. I owned a home for 12 years, and I stayed there because I was stuck. And I just moved out this year, and it's been huge. I've made all these new friends.
Wow.
And of course now, nobody necessarily wants this, but I've changed jobs 3 times within the last like 8 months. But I've met so many more people, you know, and just kind of, yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of struggles over the last year specifically, and they've all been good. You know, you just got to remember. My big thing kind of goes along with yours, is that you just keeping gratitude, is that you have to have the bad to have the good.
Yeah.
So if you're going through something bad, you know it's going to get better because it has to.
Yeah.
Like there's a balance of everything. So, you know, like there's always bad stuff, but if you didn't have the bad stuff, you wouldn't appreciate the good.
Absolutely.
I would say that to that question too, a veces siento como que cuando pasa algo malo es la puerta abriendo para que tú cambies o cambies dirección para algo mejor o algo bueno, porque si esa cosa mala no pasa, la probabilidad de que tú hicieras algo diferente sería cero.
Sí.
Yeah.
Right? So a
Siempre va a
veces
seguir
esas
the same.
cosas nos empujan a seguir adelante y seguir tratando, because something I always tell Junior that I don't even follow myself is that if you're not uncomfortable, you're not trying hard enough.
Yes.
And that's part of what makes you push farther.
Yeah. So let's give credit is due. You pushed yourself a lot this year.
Oh, I have.
Big time. Yes, you have. Big time. So credit to you for
I just
that.
gotta get comfortable in front of the camera like Mindy. I need to fit.
Yeah, just natural.
Yeah, big
It's a
time.
natural.
So Mindy, you said something to me that you, Gabi, have mentioned in the past before, especially whenever you were going through some struggles that you've been open about. You said, "What's my superpower?" Right? You know, and when we talk about being bilingual, you know, you said that you didn't necessarily approach your employer and said, "Hey, I'm bilingual." They just heard you on the phone one day, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, that's a superpower that you have, being able to speak 2 languages,
And understand the culture,
right?
Yeah.
because that's a big part of it. It's not just I speak Spanish, but I understand why people don't want to apply for a loan, and I understand why they don't have credit, instead of just being mad at them because they don't have it.
Or they don't understand.
Or they
right?
understand,
Yeah. Yeah, it's I mean, even when I was selling cars, I had a finance background, because I was a finance assistant before I went into sales. So I knew then how credit worked also. So even then it was explaining the whole picture, you're buying a car, but you're also buying credit, and you need to take care of it, and you also need to do your oil changes.
Yeah. So you're buying car, but
Maintenance.
you're also buying credit. I never heard it said like that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, something you have to work on. So Hugo, back to you, because you also do some volunteering. So not only are you someone who's driven from within, but you also volunteer at the World Pediatric Project. So for the people out there that don't know what that is, can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure. That's a nonprofit organization. It's based in Michigan, I believe, but we have a huge office here in St. Louis. I say we now because I'm so involved now, and I treat the organization like as part of mine. We bring kids from all Central America. You know, people think of Central America, oh, it's just, you know, we just bring in kids that speak Spanish and such and such. Central America has Belize, you know, has St. Lucia, has San Martin, you know, all these little islands in there that also needs our help. You know, so our organization brings kids with, you know, some have broken a bone before, or something that happened in their life, or they were born in such way that they need some medical treatment. So that's when WPP step up and say, here, we're going to send a team to your country. We're going to do whatever is necessary to have them treated there. And if not, if there's no other way, and then we'll bring them here to the United States, you know. So I have been with the organization since the summer of 2014. It was in one of those times in our life that, you know, we all have sort of been there. We are so comfortable in who we are. You know, you guys have started this podcast because, you know, something you were just too right here. And then, so that happened to me. You know, I was assistant manager in a restaurant, and I moved up to manager, and just friends and life and out and stuff like that, but it was just right here. So there was just something that it didn't like fulfill me. So I started looking something what to do and to change the cycle of the Latino culture. I would say, especially in my country, we are not that much devoted to serve others, I would say. And so I seek for that, and I found it, and I'm glad he found me.
Yeah.
You know, so it changed a lot of my thinking and how to treat others and what to value, like really what is valuable, not just ephemeral, something.
Right. Kind of
Yeah.
goes back to what you said about the mindset of being grateful
Yeah,
and appreciative.
yeah. So when I was little, I broke my arm. I dislocated my knee. I even here actually I went to Hidden Valley after I was old enough, and I dislocated my shoulder. But we never think about those things that you can go to a hospital and get some medical treatment. And those kids in other countries, they don't have that facility, or so easy to get some medical treatment. So that's when I was like, man, I was a child, I had a good childhood because I broke a bone, and I complained, but at least I had the opportunity to break a bone. Kids that are born with any kind of disabilities or illness, they're not even able to do anything. So I am very happy to be with the organization who have shown me so much love and care for others, and then you just fulfill that need besides what your personal life is.
¿Y tienen un evento que van a hacer este fin de semana?
Sí, tenemos un evento, se llama Rock and Heal. It's one of the it's one of the biggest events that we have of the year. It's now coming up this Friday, so everybody please check it out if you can. Or at least stay tuned up with my Instagram because it's going to be everywhere. Rock and Heal, it's happening this June 7th, Friday. It's an all-inclusive event. The ticket now went up to $100, but you will get all the food you will like from actually top restaurants of the whole San Luis area. And most of our breweries are also there too. And well, your guest here today is actually going to be also delivering some speech that night.
All right, you
Yeah,
are.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I'm very proud.
And is it a music presentation or?
So it is a fundraiser just based on a party, just kind of having fun and gathering and food and drinks. We have 2 live bands, I believe. We have a silent auction. We have some signed, stuff. And we have 2 surprises over there. Can't say much.
You have to be there to
Yes,
see it.
you have to be there to see it. I am part of the committee this year, so I can't really say much. But please be there. You will love it. I loved it. I have some friends that came with me last year and the year prior, and they are always coming back.
Awesome. ¿Y dónde va a ser?
El evento va a ser at Union Station at 6:30 p.m. So I will meet you guys. We also have valet parking, so you don't need to worry about where to park.
Oh, that's so convenient.
Yes, we managed the way around to get that. And well, dress is summer chic, so dress some nice, colorful sometimes. Yeah, that will help.
Sometimes those dress codes are so hard.
Yeah, summer chic, you get some pop-up collar with you. You great, you fit in right in.
Sounds like you're also into fashion.
Yeah. Oh, we have a whole thing set up in the back. We take pictures. We actually have some of our patients. Some of the kids are going to be there with us.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yes. We take the whole family that is in the Ronald McDonald's house right now. A lot of them are going to come with us. Vamos a pasar un momento muy agradable como en familia, vamos a decir. And so everybody is going to be there. The board members, some of entrepreneurs. We have a Spanish guy I would like you guys to have him here one of these days. He's going to be there too. So we have like a lot potential also collaborating with us at the same time.
Very
Amazing.
cool.
Yep.
And to get the tickets, where should people go?
Yes, thank you for asking. So if you go, on top of my head, I can't tell you, but in my Instagram, official Hugo CJ, you will see the link. I have all the details, and then you'll see the link in there. Click in there, select your how many tickets you would like. It's $100 per person. It's gonna be, hopefully, it will be listed there in the
Lo ponemos en los comentarios,
Sí,
¿no?
sí, lo vamos a poner ahí
Okay, en
también.
los
Para que
comentarios.
la gente lo pueda ver
So yeah,
directamente.
it's good. Yeah, it's on Friday. So, but yeah, I really hope this could catch up somebody, and
Yeah.
so be there.
Bueno, pues sí, porque también cuánta gente quizás estamos apoyando y un día puede ser alguien que conocemos.
Yeah, I had my personal, and maybe I'm taking too much time. Sorry, Mindy.
Oh, you're,
So-
you're good.
So one of my personal experiences after that, this is when good karma comes around. So we always hear about karma, and it's rare that we think about good karma. So I started volunteering in 2014. You know, I never told anybody about it because we have this philosophy, we have this thing saying, lo que sabe la mano izquierda que no lo sepa la derecha. But guess what? If you don't spread the word,
Mm-hmm.
nobody's aware of it. You know, it's something like you have to say it. And then, you know, the point is not tell me, oh, you're doing such a great job. Oh, it's good for you. Yes, and thank you, and I appreciate that, you know, but that's not the point. The point is I would like you to be involved too, you know.
Mhm.
So I learned that, you know, to just kind of manage that, the ego that we all build up somehow, like, oh, I got all the recognition. It's not about that. It's more about I want you also involved. So my cousin, after 2-3 years of me doing all the voluntariado y todo eso, he was sick. He got sick. Something. So he developed something in his su cintura,
His ways.
his waist. Yeah. So he couldn't walk and anything. And last year he was actually treated by our organization.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. After
So
so many
came full
years that.
circle.
Your cousin in
Yeah.
Dominican Republic?
Yeah.
Mira que
And
bien.
literally, this was not even. It was, you know, I'm still get like all the goosebumps because
Mhm.
it's, you know, it's a good karma that kind of comes around.
Mhm.
So we chit chat with our family. We talk to them. Hey, we volunteer at this organization. Please let us help you. You know, I know that we can submit an email just by a simple phone call because we've been there so much. You know, and literally as soon as we did that, they get the phone call. Paperwork went down to Dominican Republic. They get a whole checkup. Visa came here. St. Louis.
Wow.
Get
Surgery. He went back. Now he's back again for another surgery. You know, and so yeah, things just kind of circle around.
Mira eso, eh?
That was a blessing, and he's still here. He might show up, but you know, the event. But he's still here, so I'm still hanging out with him for a few days before he goes back to Dominican Republic.
That's
Oh,
cool.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for volunteering. I know that I've personally volunteered too. I actually
Hey, we did a few times. It's always a good time to come back. Now you are enrolled. Now you're part
Yeah,
of our
yeah.
family. You know,
This is
so
true.
now you're the family.
so I actually got a message from Hugo one day out of the blue on Facebook. Like he said, he's always low profile. He had been doing this for several years already. He says, "Hey, I have something cool going on. It's something different. Meet me at this place."
Ya le dijo que-
No.
That was it.
And I started like messaging him, "What is this place?" You know, like I looked up the address. I'm
Do you
like,
wanna do
"It's a
something?"
hospital.
I know.
It's a hospital." Like, you know, like, where am I going to a hospital? And then I get there and I'm waiting for him in the car because I trusted him. So I'm waiting for him in the car. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm inside. I'm inside." And so then he comes and gets me and takes me inside. Like no introduction, no like easing into it. He's like, "All right, come on in, come on in. Everyone here's Junior. He's my
Pónganlo a
friend. He's
trabajar."
volunteering." Y yo, y esto.
Yeah.
But I love that I did that, you know. And at one point, you actually had 4 people doing it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 4 dominicanos voluntariándose ahí.
Yeah.
Y conocimos a otros dominicanos y personas de diferentes países también.
Yep. So, see, what I like to do in those cases, and I'm glad you mentioned it, it happens like, you know, with other friends. I throw them in the fire, and I know that you're going to get burnt one time. And then you're coming back again for the same fire. It will take 2 or 3 years, but now you got that taste, and now you got the flavor. Now you're like, man, I remember when I was, you know, I'm so comfortable, I'm bored, you know, I'm not doing anything with my life now.
Yep.
I get home, this and that. Oh, wait, I remember Hugo me llevó a la casa Ronald McDonald's, and we did this and that. I'm just going to go back again. Guess what? You don't need to do the paperwork anymore. because you're already
in the system.
right. You're in the system. You're enrolled. You just need to check out with whoever is taking care of the volunteers and everything. But that's it, And you just go, hang out, have a good time. If they need to, and that's it. But at least you get that introduction. That's all I want, to expose people to it.
Right.
Yeah, that was definitely an introduction for me.
So if we get the email,
Meet me at this place. Yeah. Meet me at this place. See you at 4 o'clock.
Don't go.
You're taking me to here. Yeah.
No, for me, honestly, it was really a good experience. I had never done anything like it before that, and I really enjoyed it. It was so sano. La experiencia fue como tan sana, como decimos nosotros, like so refreshing, so like healthy, and you really do walk out of there feeling like $1 million. Like, wow, I actually did this, and no one knew about it. Like the only people that knew about it, of course, was my wife and my daughter. I couldn't stop talking about it to them. But I love the fact that you're doing that and that you're involving more Latinos to do volunteering, because we're not known for volunteering work.
Yeah.
So kudos to you.
Gracias.
Yeah,
Gracias.
nada. So Mindy, vamos a hablar contigo ahora. Porque tú eres el finance manager. ¿Tienes personas latinas que se reportan a ti ahora mismo en tu compañía? They report to you?
Oh, sí.
¿Sí?
Más o menos, yeah.
Más o menos latinas que reportan a ti.
Oh, latinos no, pero
Latinos, okay.
Estaba pensando en la gente de venta.
Sí. So, si las personas, yo sé que tienes el page de YouTube to inform more Latinos, and they're all in Spanish, so especialmente para la gente que habla español solamente, informándolo acerca del crédito. Pero si alguien te quiere contactar a ti, ¿cómo te pueden reach?
Todos mis redes sociales son lo mismo. Mindy Pluma en Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter.
Sí. ¿Y solamente te llaman cuando quieren comprar un carro solamente?
Dos cosas. Si tienen preguntas como sacar un préstamo, no hay problema. Y por buscar un carro también. Donde estoy, tengo acceso a 5 agencias, so tenemos más que 800 carros. So me imagino que tengo lo que están buscando.
Sí, sí.
Oh, wow.
¿Y por qué finance? What attracted you to finance? Because like me, I'm not a numbers guy. To me, that's not very attracting, very appealing, but obviously it is to you, right?
No, I don't do math. No, son diferentes aspectos. So, me gusta trabajar con la gente. Tienes que conocer a la gente rapidito en financiamiento, pero en venta sí, es un proceso un poco más largo. Y todavía hay relaciones con los bancos que tienes que tener también. Es todo, me considero muy extroverted generalmente, so hay días que me canso y solo quiero estar con mis pensamientos, pero casi siempre estoy hablando con gente o buscando cómo conectarme en diferentes maneras. Así encontré la Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Soy horrible uno por uno, pero si me empujo a hacerlo, estoy mejorando.
So you're an introvert?
Extroverted.
Extroverted.
But I'm terrible at networking
like
for
it.
some reason. Like I'm good at work, like I guess when I have to do it, but I'm terrible at networking. I'm just kind of like walking around like, who do I know?
Well, we have an episode on networking, actually.
Yeah. Creo que networking es difícil para todos, because you come in and you, like you said earlier, you kind of have your ego with you, and you're not sure who you're trying to please. And the only thing I have found that works is find 1 or 2 people that you know and start with them until you build your confidence. And just be you.
Definitely.
I mean, go de ir a conocer a la gente y presentarte a ti mismo auténticamente, no tratar de vender o tratar de hablar de la compañía necesariamente, sino just to be you. Y normalmente cuando ya empiezan a conocer qué haces, van a estar diciendo, yo conozco a 5 personas que quieren hablar contigo, y ya te conectan. Or at least that's what I do. Con Mindy, normalmente la gente me habla de carros o de préstamo, háblale a Mindy.
Yep, claro que sí.
Oye, Mindy, tú dijiste que también parte de tu trabajo es relationships con diferentes bancos. ¿Esos bancos están dispuestos a servir a la comunidad latina, me imagino?
No.
No.
So me imagino que la Bank of Edwardsville si tienen muchos, si quieren ayudar la porque están haciendo como préstamos de 4% por alguien sin crédito, y eso creo que es magnífico. First Community Credit Union también está ayudando mucho, pero no les miro como Bank of Edwardsville siempre está en la business after hours,
Sí.
pero los demás no son, o no les miro como haciendo los festivales, o no les miro como conectando mucho.
Yeah, como que todavía hay como un gap entre que ellos realicen el poder de la comunidad and the buying power that we have, y que vean también, porque cuando vemos, we had Jose Ponce on the show before,
Right.
and he started the I-10 programs for mortgages with one of the banks. He was one of the first people. Pero if you look at the data, ¿cómo se dice cuando no pagas?
Good credit history?
No.
Or
Like when you don't pay the
repo or foreclosure?
The foreclosure percentages with I-10 loans
Or like nothing.
are almost zero
I believe
Wow.
compared to the foreclosures with Social Security numbers, because the Latino community is very adamant and very committed. Once they get it, they do a good job.
Yeah.
Right? So they make their payments on time. I mean, because the reality is that we don't not have credit because we don't have money. We don't have credit because we either don't know how to get it, we don't know how to build it,
Too confusing.
it's too confusing, or there's language issues, right? So there's lots of reasons why we have it, but it has nothing to do with the fact that we don't have money, because the money is not the issue, I don't think. So I
Absolutely.
do definitely see a lot of opportunity for the banks to get more involved, and I feel like a lot of it has to do with regulations, federal government stuff, also the risk that they believe exists, that in reality, when you look at the data, does not exist. But I think more banks are coming around. The hard part, Junior, is that I think the banks, in theory, and I'm speaking from my personal experience, in theory the banks want to help, but they don't have the manpower to do it. So the Bank of Edwardsville is a little bit different because they have a full Spanish-speaking staff. The whole bank at the branch speaks Spanish.
Right.
So they have the power, right? So it's not enough, like if I go to Bank of America and I see a sign in Spanish, they probably don't have anybody that can actually speak to me once I get there. And or you would think at places like Bank of America or the bigger banks that have locations in heavily Spanish-speaking cities, that they would have those products. But sometimes they just don't realize the potential of the buying power that we have, and they're not yet ready to make the investment in the community. But the opportunity is there, and the loans are, the lower interest loans are there. But you also have to have your stuff together, right? So no me puedo enojar porque mi interés es al 8 y el de Junior es al 4.
Exacto.
Porque él hizo algo diferente que yo tengo que hacer para mejorarlo al 22%. Y a veces creemos, cuando vamos a comprar una casa o un carro, que no se nos da y le echamos la culpa al prestamista o al vendedor de coches. Pero en realidad hay muchas cosas que podemos hacer nosotros para mejorar el crédito. Yo no sé si a ti te pasa que te echan a ti la culpa o al prestamista.
Bueno, sí, no me han dicho. Siempre lo escucho de los demás. Sí, siempre estoy diciendo eso porque solo tengo mi reputación. Es la única razón por qué van a comprar de mí, porque si alguien está hablando mal de mí, ya todo salió mal. So intento hacer esas cosas positivas y intento ayudar lo más gente que puedo. So si es el banco y el crédito, y si entienden cómo sirve el crédito, entonces van a entender como el costo. Ok, pongamos que compran un carro de 15,000. Con el interés de 22%, podría ser $35,000 con el interés. Y los americanos realmente no compramos de ese número. Compramos tal vez de interés, negocian por el interés a veces, o digan, yo no lo voy a comprar si no tengo un interés abajo de 5%, o quiero ir con mi banco porque me van a dar 5%, lo que sea. Pero nunca compramos de ese número en total. Y los hispanos sí. los mexicanos específicamente siempre me dicen, pues yo no quiero comprar un carro de $33,000. Ok, dámelo en cash, entonces, y no va a ser un cobro extra. Pero sí siempre intento decir a todo el mundo el proceso. Si empiezas con un carro más barato, tal vez puedes ir con un carro de $10,000 ahorita, y luego puedes regresar por el Corvette o el Camaro que quieres y estás pagando menos interés porque empezaste con el préstamo más pequeño. O tenía un cliente que quería un carro de $22,000, él tenía $11,000 de enganche. Y eso salió muy bien por el banco, pero todavía como él no tenía nada, el interés de los $10,000, el resto, todavía fue 22%.
Wow.
Y me dijo, así no puedo comprarlo. Y digo, well, así es. Yo no sé qué quieres que haga, pero los bancos me están diciendo eso.
Sí.
So, todo depende, todo el crédito de cada persona es diferente. Pero sí, cuando estás empezando o cuando tal vez tienes un repo o algo mal pasó en su crédito, tienes que pagar por eso por un poco. Pero después que restableces buen crédito, van a bajar los intereses otra vez.
Sí. Bueno, ya saben, si tienen preguntas acerca de eso, ¿a quién va a llamar? A Mindy. primero que vean los videos, ¿verdad?
Ajá, sí.
Vean los videos primero para informarse un poco y luego que te llamen si tienen más preguntas, ¿no?
Sí.
Sí. Entonces, algo que nosotros hacemos cuando hacemos roundtable discussions, si ya han visto los últimos, le preguntamos a los guests qué significa ser auténtico para ellos. Y creo que ya han hablado un poco de eso durante la conversación que hemos tenido, pero le pregunto como quiera la misma pregunta. Quizás empezamos contigo, Hugo. What is being authentic to you? ¿Qué significa auténtico?
So authentic for me, I actually created a hashtag. It's do the Hugo.
Oh,
It's just a me
do the
thing.
Hugo. Do the
Yeah,
Hugo.
so once a while, when I was like, right now, even though I am involved with the organization, World Pediatric Project, but I was like a lot much more, in the past. So even though I had a crazy busy life between friends, family, events, and whatnot, I always had some time to go and do my hour of volunteer. So I guess what makes me Autentico or, somebody Autentico is that no matter what you're doing out there, try to do something that you're passionate about it. So something that, it can be a pottery class, it can be a dance class, it can be cycling, camping, something that nobody really knows that much, but like you are sort of like an expert in that area. So I have hang out with friends that I never knew that they're like such good campers, and all of a sudden they took me out camping. I'm like, you know how to camp? Oh yeah, look at all of this. I'm like, what? And they have like a whole background of camping that nobody knows, but it's like so authentic on their own that they own it. So that I think to me is authentic.
All right. Mindy, la misma pregunta para ti.
Being genuine, I feel like genuine and honesty kind of go hand in hand. And for me to be genuine or be honest to myself is trying to help people. It just comes easily. So it's just something that I keep trying to do.
Just be genuine to yourself. Be passionate about something. That's what I'm picking up on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you both very much for being on the show with us. Continue to fight the good fight and supporting our Latinos in the community and really volunteering and giving of our time to be able to help everyone involved, right?
Thank you.
So
Yes.
thank you so much for being
Yes,
on the
thank you.
podcast. For those of you watching, remember we are on every single podcast platform out there. Please comment on Facebook. We're going to be tagging the contact information for both Mindy and Hugo to learn more about their line of work, but also the volunteering piece for Hugo as well. So again, thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you guys for
Yes,
having
thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Salimos.
We're good.
Woo!
Yay!
Good job.
That was a
You
good
guys were
conversation.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Nice job, Mindy.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
Mindy.
Nailed it.
Es que
Where's the beer now?
ahora se puede